Okay, thank you very much. As I told you, I travel a long way just to be sure my internet connection is good, and it seems it's not so good, but well, okay. My name is Vladimir Lemus. I'm from Mexico City, and I'm here today to talk about Alicia Radio. We're in a multicultural forum, no? Multiforo Cultural Alicia is the name. Here in Mexico City, we are in an independent cultural space. No? The idea is, well, first, it is the first idea is to present some concerts. Rock and roll is the biggest part, but another genres that are present. But as a cultural space, we got different projects, no, to present. So one of these projects is Alicia Radio. So let me pass to the next slide. Okay, so the Multiforo Cultural Alicia has, this year is his 30th birthday. The first time it opened was in December 1995. It was the first concert. Originally was in the Colonia Roma, a very popular zone here in Mexico City, very centric, near the center of the city. Right now, it is in Santa Maria la Roquera. Santa Maria la Ribera really is the name. Santa Maria la Ribera is something like Santa Maria by the riverside. But well, that's the name right now. But well, we call it Santa Maria la Roquera. This is a new space because we are the first recognized by the law, independent cultural space. Really, we are independent. No? We are just a collective working just to get cultural presentations for a wide public, no? Not just the cultural spaces from the state, from institutions. This is a space we all together built. No? A lot of independent musicians, writers, even some people in the cultural and political space in Mexico City, and even beyond, no? All Mexico, all the country. Our actual building was an old Cristero church. Maybe you are not familiar with this. The Cristero War was like in 1926, 1929. In Mexico City, there was, well, in the whole country, whole Mexico, there was a militia from the Catholic Church. No? And really, in some sense, it was like the Catholic Church declared war to Mexican state for different situations. So there was, it's hard maybe to imagine, but there were these priests with guns fighting against the Mexican state, against the army. There is no problem, but in some cases even against the teachers. No, so like in 1920 something, the Mexican state took this church from the Cristeros and made it an archive. So it was almost an abandoned building there here in Santa Maria la Roquera. So the last year, the Mexico City government told us if we want this space to put the Multiforo Cultural Alicia, so well, we said yes. We should pay a rent. This building is not ours, but it's in Comodato is normally the name we gave it. It is not ours, but well, we are doing. We are working for the culture. Is something that maybe the state should do, but we are doing it. So maybe we should have some support, and we should not be considered as a bar, as just an entertaining center. No? We are a cultural forum. Okay, so let me pass to the next. Well, this is, I call it, it's not only rock and roll, and I like it because it's not only concerts. There are a lot of concerts. Every weekend there are different genres: reggae, ska, punk, rupestre is some kind of folk, Mexican folk. Very, I would say it's only in Mexico. Metal, fusion, sound, salsa, cumbia. There is not only rock. There are some popular genres, and there are some traditional music, Mexican music too. But besides the concerts, there are literature with workshops, presentations, different. There are different ways, no, from the literature. Even more, there are dance with lessons and presentations, cultural and political meetings, and more important, there is a little space called Grabaciones Alicia, like Alicia Recordings, that, well, in 30 years that we've been working, well, me not, I've been working there just for 1 year, but I was public in, I was, I usually were in these events from like 15, 20 years ago. So all these bands that present in Multiforo Cultural Alicia really are independent. No, there is no support from a big enterprise. So in some cases it was hard for them to have a recording. So in some moments, the Multiforo Cultural Alicia said, "Well, if we don't record these bands, who will do it? No, so who will do that?" So he said, "Well, okay, but let's make a record label. No? This is what we call Grabaciones Alicia." Let me pass the next slide. There are like 134 recordings. Almost all are CDs. There are some cassettes and vinyls. All of these are, maybe all of them are independent artists, no? from Mexico City, around Mexico. There are a few artists that left their recordings that are far away from Mexico. There are live and studio recordings. As I said, someone has to record these bands. Maybe even there are some records that this band disappeared. Just had this record and disappeared. There are no more archive about them that these albums. There are some major Mexican rock bands and artists that record their first or some album in Alicia, Grabaciones Alicia. Austin TV, I don't know if you know them, but well, there's Austin TV, Los de Abajo, a very famous ska band from Mexico, Oxomaxoma, Cabezas de Cera. Oxomaxoma and Cabezas de Cera are more like prog rock, and Jesse Bulbo, maybe more or less known outside Mexico. There are albums in different language. You know, the majority are in Spanish. Some are in English. There are a few in Nahuatl, Tzotzil, and even Euskera. Well, Nahuatl and Tzotzil, there are not exactly from Grabaciones Alicia. We take some recordings borrowed with the permission of the artist, and we put them in the radio. Well, with all this archive, all this music, some of these records are already sold out. We don't have any more copies, but we have all this history, no, from independent bands in Mexico. So we thought, with all this history, we should have a radio station, no, to put all this music, and the whole public could hear all these bands, and in some cases know them because they are not very famous. So with this idea, we made Alicia Radio. Alicia Radio is running since August 2024. We're about to almost a year. We're almost a year. It is 24/7. It's running in a small PC with Dev1 and streaming via his.tv. This is because, well, as you can see, the internet connection here in Mexico City is not as good as in the rest of the world. So we this computer just sends the audio. It is received by his .tv. I think the server is in France, and in there it spreads all over the world. It's not just music 24/7. There are some jingles just to identify the station. Some short audios that here in Mexico call capsules, radio capsules, cápsulas de radio, and there are event announcements. Sometimes we put there the announcements. This week there's going to be these concerts. We say all that. It is not too difficult. Unfortunately, this is not a technical talk, but it is a very simple program in Liquidsoap. The music is running like randomly. We tried in first moment to put it by genres, but maybe it was difficult. The people will listen to the station and will think that there was only one genre in the whole station, so we put it all random. So maybe you can hear a ska song, and just the next song could be a metal song, son jarocho, something like that, a Mexican traditional song. Almost all Alicia records are there. There are a few Alicia records that even we don't have. We are not sure the amount of records we have. But even though there are some records that we know we record, but we don't have anymore. So there are a few that are not there. There are a few extras, as I said. We borrow some albums from bands that had played in the Alicia, and we put them there. We try every weekend, every band that visits Alicia, we ask them if we would like to put their music in Alicia Radio. So there are some new records from these bands. You can hear. In this case, every 4 songs you can hear a jingle. You can hear the station identification. If you're listening, you should know that it's Alicia Radio. And sometimes we put on these capsules, special capsules, the short audios. The last one was the March the 8th, the International Women's Day. These were called Calladitas No. We asked the artists, the musicians, to send us some audio to talk about the concert, the March the 8th, about the music made by women, and why it was important to have concerts dedicated just to women. That was the last capsules. At this moment, we haven't recorded anymore, but there is open. There is the space in the program to put these capsules. And when announcing events and the specific times, we sometimes talk about the events that are going to be that weekend. Everything is recorded. At this moment, we don't have live shows. But already there is a harbor open and ready for radio booth. We must say our dream is to have a radio booth, because it is important for us. We have a space. This is a space. It's a physical space that we have, and as a physical space, we want to have a radio station as a physical space. So, our dream is to have a radio booth eventually, to have live shows from the Alicia. They will be sending to all the world from the same Alicia. This is a cultural space. We want to extract all the juice from it. So, there is ready that harbor. I hope in these future months, and not so far future, we could have the radio booth, and you can listen to some live radio shows. But why this is important? Let me see. I think I have. Why this is important? We are not just. This is not a commercial radio station. This is not a commercial space. We are a collective working for the cultural movement, for the cultural space, for cultural collectives in Mexico City and beyond. we are not just one person. We are a lot of, because you can see in this picture, there are almost all the Alicias and Alicios, as we call us. Maybe there are two that are not them, Giovanni and Fernanda, but well, there is almost all the Alicios. You can see me over there. I'm the one behind the Nacho, that is our frontman. We are a big collective, no? So the work in radio, in the concerts, we try to make it all together. And we try to open the radio to all the cultural communities in Mexico City, independent. Mexico City is a big city. There are a lot of radio stations, even cultural and university radio stations. Maybe one should ask, why another station? Why do we need more stations? But this station is dedicated to the independent cultural community, and at this moment to the independent music in Mexico. So maybe you can. There are a lot of bands that you can hear in Alicia Radio that you cannot hear in any other space, in any other radio, or even you cannot hear them in the commercial ways, no, like Spotify and other. We want to show this diversity. So well, that's why we are in the community, and we thought this as a community radio station. I'm near the end of this presentation. Well, before I end, I want to thank you, every one of you. I hope to see you there. You are invited to visit Multiforo Alicia whenever you want, whenever you are here in Mexico. But if you are too far, it's hard to come to Mexico. There's no problem. You can listen to Alicia Radio in this link, multiforoalicia.org / Alicia radio. I don't remember how you say guion in English. Yeah, Mexico is a bit far. There is this page, but you can hear us via radiobrowser.info, and even in some applications for Android, you can listen to us in Radio Droid, or for iOS in Cuterdio. There is a list that they take from radiobrowser.info, and you can listen to the station. At this moment, as I said, there are 24/7 music and some jingles, but in a few months, I hope there will be a lot of more content. And just to finish, as some of our posters in Mexico City says, que la rebeldía siempre nos besa en la boca. More or less, this is like that rebellion kisses us in the mouth, always kisses us in the mouth. So thank you very much. And if there is any question, I'm here to listen to them.